It all began with a scream. Just after midnight, a sharp, terrified shriek cut through the silence of the Ravenwood apartments. Then, nothing. When police pushed open the door to apartment 9, they found it eerily empty. A chair was knocked over. A glass of red wine had spilled across the floor like a pool of blood. But there was no body. The tenant, a 24-year-old freelance photographer named Lena Morris, had vanished into thin air. Detective Eli Carter was assigned the case. He'd walked through hundreds of crime scenes, but this one felt wrong, almost theatrical. The tipped chair, the spilled wine. It was all too perfectly placed, like a scene set for an audience. He picked up Lena's camera, hoping for a clue. The last photo was time-stamped 11:54 p.m., just 6 minutes before the scream. It was a blurry, rushed shot of a silhouette standing in her doorway. Eli zoomed in, enhancing the image. His blood ran cold. The man in the photo was wearing a brown leather jacket, the right cuff noticeably worn down. It was his jacket. Eli froze, a knot tightening in his stomach. He had never met Lena Morris. He was sure of it. Or was he? His partner, noticing his pale face, asked, "You okay, Eli?" He couldn't answer. His mind was racing, trying to connect dots that shouldn't exist. Back at the station, he secretly pulled Lena's phone records. Dozens of missed calls, all to the same number. The next morning, he found the corresponding burner phone tucked away in his own desk drawer. A cold dread washed over him. Someone was setting him up, meticulously framing him for a crime he didn't commit. Or maybe there was a part of him he didn't know, a darker side that had a life of its own. Driven by a desperate need for answers, he returned to apartment 9 the following night, alone. The power was cut, and the air hung heavy with the smell of dust and decay. As he swept his flashlight across the empty rooms, he heard faint footsteps, slow and deliberate, coming from the far corner. Then, a whisper floated through the darkness. "Eli." He whipped the beam of light towards the voice. And there she was, Lena Morris, alive. She stood pressed against the wall, her eyes wide with a fear that wasn't for him. "I told you to stop," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Stop what?" Eli asked, confused. She pointed a shaky finger at the wall beside her. It was covered in photographs, hundreds of them, all of her. Candid shots, taken from a distance, through her own window. Each one was signed with the initials, EC. "I didn't do this," he stammered, stepping closer. That's when he saw it. Tucked behind the gallery of stalker photos was a mirror, and behind the mirror, a small blinking red light. A hidden camera still recording. The timestamp on the feed read, "Live." Before he could process what was happening, the apartment door slammed shut, plunging the room into absolute darkness. A distorted voice crackled through the camera's tiny speaker, a chilling, electronic whisper. "Welcome back, detective. Ready for your next assignment?" And then, silence. Total, suffocating silence. They never found Lena Morris again, and they never found Detective Eli Carter either. But the story doesn't end there. Every month, a new video surfaces online from an anonymous source. Each one shows a new apartment 9 somewhere in the world. The layout is always the same. The scream is the same. The mystery is the same. Nobody knows who is behind it, or why. But everyone keeps watching, unable to look away. If you've watched this far, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss what comes next, because the next story could be about you.